Well. Here's a little bit of an update. So I was building one of the Fat Boys, and I got to the point that I got all of the sticker shit off of the dark blue frame. I thought that they were both baby blue, but turns out this one's like a just blue. Um, and as you can see behind me, it's somewhat clean. This frame is definitely going off the powder coat. The other one has chips in it too, so I will probably keep the stickers on that one and the original paint until I discover, because that one's the one that's the more iconic Fat Boy frame with the really huge gusset in the front. So stickers for that one I should be able to actually find, but I'm waiting for discovery of finding where the hell they are to actually send it off the powder coat. This one I am probably going to get it rideable and then send it off the powder coat. Strategies, play it out before you basically have it fully built and the way that you want it. That way you don't have any inconsistencies at the end. However, back when I rode a Trek Subvert Pro, this is way back when micro drives were just coming in. The thing that bummed me out about the Subvert Pro is it had a lower chainstay U-brake. I could not jump aboard micro drives. I was stuck running a 1336 gearing, because I think you can go down to a 3312, but a 12 tooth cog is really, really hard to actually get, or freewheel. The smallest flip-flop freewheel that you can get is a 13. Most don't know these days, because you go and Google search flip-flop hubs, 90% of the search results are, what's a flip-flop hub? But that was our game changer back in 2000. Well, 98. 98 is when they actually were being offered on a lot of bikes so that you could actually put a smaller gearing on. Because I think the industry at the time realized that micro drives were around the corner. And that being said, I got this bike basically almost built to put the front brake cable on and rubber on it, and it was going to be rideable. I got the rear 9-tooth cassette on, and I quickly realized clearance was going to be an issue, because guess what? Fat Boy's got the lower chainstay U-brake as well. Oh, it just it really, really kind of destroyed the day. Well, the night, because I did this last night. And so now I got two Fat Boys with very odd current standard gearings that are required. No one makes a 36 tooth fat chainring anymore. And nobody makes non-race 14 millimeter cassette rears that'll accept a 12 or a 13 tooth. For that matter, a 33 tooth chainring either. So I am kind of screwed right now. So now I have to basically build a bike off of eBay. I know for a fact I'll be able to actually get some mid-school parts off of eBay. However, back in 98 to 2002, when we were still running the medium-sized gearings, aka 36 instead of a 44, we were just starting to get into chain grinds and crank grinds and chain and crank plants and stuff like that. So even though some of these front gearings are, up to about a half-inch thick, I mean, we were talking they were heavy machined. And I'm not saying heavy machined as in they're taking the weight out. I mean, they're starting off with a 3/4 inch piece of aluminum and basically shaving it down to where it was going to be a half-inch thick, just to shave off a little bit of weight. But they were stout. So being able to find one that's not been molested or beat to hell is going to come at a premium. So even though most people think that mid-school bikes with the larger gear drive are a cheaper build, this is going to end up being a lot more expensive than if I just went with a micro drive on it, aka a 9 to 25 or a 10 to like 30 or something like that. So, or 28, whatever. Matters how much balls you got in your legs. So that being said, I had to take this bike back to storage, and I need to acquire either a flip-flop hub or another DK Shimano style cassette, which I shouldn't have an issue with the DKs because of the fact that basically market-wise they were putting those on a lot of bikes in 2000, 2001 because they were cheaper to build because of the fact that basically they used mountain bike and road bike parts in the hub. So, so basically all they had to do was just make the hub to fit that drive system. And it's an industrial drive system. So basically, if it's good enough for a mountain bike, it's good enough for a BMX bike. So I'll be able to find those. But the problem is basically how much is it going to cost. I surely do miss the days where you could just go on to Dan's Comp and Albies and all the other guys that basically were in BMX Plus advertising their swag and parts. And you could get anything you wanted. If you wanted a freaking, like a 44 tooth fucking drive system, a 36 tooth drive system, or a fucking micro drive system, you could just instantaneously order it in anything you wanted. Any color you wanted too. But nowadays it's basically like everything is to a specialty market. Basically the things that don't sell, they basically splash on some weird color and up the sales that way. Sadly to say, that's not my thing. So, that being said, I am probably going to be hunting for parts for the next 2 weeks to try and acquire this. Thank God they didn't have the hubs ordered yet at my local BMX shop because of the fact that basically I wanted to get the cranks in first. The cranks aren't going to be an issue. I mean, basically all I have to do is just, convert them to an American bottom bracket. I mean, there's 3 companies right now that basically make cup conversions for American bottom brackets for guys like me that are, trying to ride mid-school bikes. Even Profile makes a nice one. But again, it's anodized, so it's a little bit more expensive. But it's just, I was really, really excited about these fat boys until basically I got hit with the old subvert issue. And now I understand why basically a lot of bike manufacturers stopped um, doing lower chainstay 990s because of the fact that basically clearance issues. Even though, if you ask me, the lower chainstay 990, if you low profile the studs, is probably the better contact point on the frame, because the lower chainstay by build is a lot stronger than the upper chainstay, unless you're, you know, unless the bike is basically built with massive gussets on the top. A lot of the reasons why basically upper chainstays of the triangle near the seats they always crack is because of the fact that people are doing rear brake tricks and really smashing down on the rear wheel, and all that load goes right to the chainstay. I mean, you can do it with a brakeless setup too, and have the same problem, but primarily the reason why basically a lot of the upper chainstays break is because of the fact that basically the 990's up there, or you break if you got a different company. But we all know the Diacomp is the best goddamn U-brake on the market. So, Vice Grips is a brand, 990 is a brand. And because, you know, it's the best of the brands. So, that being said, kind of fucked. But we'll deal with it. If I have to go online and just buy a hub and fucking relace it to a, I don't know, like a Rhino-Lite, no big deal. The bike shop that right now that I go to, they have like 4 Rhino-Lites like sitting on the floor. So, best, cheapest fucking rim you can buy, especially for brake guys. So that's it. I'm kind of like basically I got one bike that's running, and all the rest of the bikes are going to be basically on hold until this situation's resolved. So bummed out. I don't know if you can tell. It sucks. Because all I want to do is just go and ride the fat boy. Well, at least one of them. And not have a goddamn 44 tooth chainring on it, because of the fact that basically, like, you know, I don't want to go to a park or a ride area and then everybody's be like, oh, look, we got an old school guy. No, I wanted to disguise the frame a little bit. I mean, the beefy ass frame looks good. Doesn't look good though when you show up and everybody instantaneously knows that you're fucking 30, upper 30 guy to mid 40s trying to do some fucking mid school shit. I mean, the front brakes should give it away in itself, but it is what it is. So, yeah. The bike's together. I got a front wheel on it. Well, not right now, but it's off to the side. You can't fit too much of a fully built bike inside this car. It is literally almost touching both sides of the car as it is right now, and it's kind of tucked in real tight, which is nice because of the fact I don't have to strap it. All I have to do is take the front and rear tires off, and I can transport any bike I want. Can transport too. That's the only problem with this. But I don't know. Maybe in about a month or something like that, after like all the bikes are built, then I'll probably actually end up building a custom rear mount for this car and be able to tote 2 bikes. Not to say I really want to do that on a lot of local journeys, because where I live is a very peaceful community, but basically where I would be riding is in some ghetto ass areas of the neighboring city. So I don't really want to have a bike like hanging out back. However, when I do the vert tour, I will want two bikes with me at hand at all times because of the fact that basically, um, I like to say that fucking mid bikes are tanks. However, the whole journey will be basically like abruptly stopped if I crack a frame. So if I have two bikes with me when I'm driving down the West Coast from Washington down to San Diego, or yeah, I think it's San Diego. Yeah, it is San Diego. Then it's kind of like my insurance plan. And the cool thing is basically by the time I get to this point, I'll have enough PTO to actually do it, and I'll have medical. So if the vert takes me out, $50 at the hospital. They repair everything, except from later on in life, which will be basically racing up really quick. It's the one thing that most people don't realize when they're riding is the expiration date on the milk of the human body is about 28. After that, you got to do the sniff test. In other words, basically like, yeah, if you want to go ride after 28 years old, you have a high possibility that you're probably going to be expired. I already know this because of the fact that basically when I tried to start up riding in my 30s, aggressively again, I could feel that my body was slower. I am not as snappy as I was in my 20s. So, like, the only thing that I can probably actually do that is an awe trick is a flare. I can't do tail whips anymore. I can't do, like 360s and shit because of the fact that basically when it comes down to it, once your body slows down, you can't kind of push yourself that hard, that fast to actually get the trick going. And that's what you need. You need the initial pow. And then the bike and the body follows that. No push, you're kind of coasting yourself into a trick. And if you know anything about speed and sending, you need to be fast off of the kick. And then when I mean kick, I mean the initial start of the trick. If you're not fast off of the initial start, then you're not going to probably make the trick. And you're probably going to land, fucking half bailed. And if you haven't bailed already, you're probably going to get force bailed. Your bike is basically going to be automatically hitting the eject button. So that being all said and everything is still in motion, but like union contracts, it's going to take a little bit longer and a little bit more money. That's me today. I got to go do some computer work for stupid ass working at the hospital bullshit, and so be it. Life goes on. It's a fucked up journey, but don't worry, just stay positive.